It's your boy, King 89, and we back with another episode, Jesus Christ, of the 89 cast. Fucking eyes. Just getting home from work. I just wrote some things down, just gonna talk about some shit that I seen over the week. Give discussions, updates, I'm gonna say give our thoughts, but just listen to, have a conversation, open up some dialogue, regular schmegular. But we're gonna start it off. Because the last few weeks I've been, and maybe the past month, I've been doing just a lot of reactions and having discussions about, videos that we've been watching, whatever like that. But bring back the 89 cast just to talk about some things, give our thoughts on some things. But we're gonna start off with GTA 6 new trailer. New trailer just came out, but it's also been delayed. So from what I've been hearing, I'm gonna read the Rockstar Games what's the shit called, letter announcing the delay or whatever like that. But we're just gonna talk about some of the rumors of as far as the reasoning or whatever like that. Talk about the trailer and all that. Um, Grand Theft Auto 6 is now coming May 26, 2026. Which a lot of people, and it's funny, people have been having the memes of, oh, blah, blah, blah is happening before GTA, blah, blah, blah is happening before GTA 6, blah, blah, blah is happening before GTA 6, just for GTA 6 to really get delayed. So it's kind of a victim of manifestation. But I'm going to talk about, some of the reasons that I heard. I'm not saying that these are true, but these are just reasons that I heard as to why it got delayed. Grand Theft Auto 6 is now set to release on May 26, 2026. Well, very sorry that this is later than you expected. The interest and excitement surrounding a new Grand Theft Auto game has been truly humbling for our entire team. We want to thank you for your support and your patience as we work to finish the game. With every game we have released, the goal has always been to try and exceed your expectations, and Grand Theft Auto 6 is no exception. We hope you understand that we need this extra time to deliver at the level of quality you expect and deserve. We look forward to sharing more information with you soon. Sincerely, Rockstar. So, from what I've been hearing, what I've read or whatever like that, there was some insider that spoke to. There was some dude who spoke to an insider on a Rockstar, and they said that a lot of it just came from the pressure of trying to rush the game out last minute. And I know that a lot of games, when a development gets rushed and it's an anticipated game and they just rush to try and get it out on time or whatever like that, it's usually a flop. It's usually a failure. It's usually a disappointment because the time and care that the game needs wasn't put in there because they're trying so hard to try and get the game out on time. So there's gonna be mistakes. There's gonna be glitches. There's gonna be this. There's gonna be that. So they're extending it for that reason, which makes sense if they want to give you, especially with GTA 5 is definitely maybe a top five, one of the top five biggest games, most popular video games of all time. Rockstar has given you GTA 5 and given you Red Dead Redemption 2, two highly what's the word? Uh, 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 Highly acclaimed video games. You know what I'm saying? So now you have that expectation put on GTA 6. You can't expect them to give you that same quality and be able to rush it at the same time. So they're gonna have to put that extra time in there, whatever like that, which I understand. But one question I do have is, when did y'all start development? It's not like GTA 5 came out 2019, 2018, and they're trying to get GTA 6 out, so they have about GTA 5 came out 2013, 13 years ago. So y'all had all this time, y'all haven't thought of any ideas or anything in these 13 years. Y'all must have just recently, as the announcement happened, thought of and started working on the game. A lot of people thought maybe the game's been in I wouldn't say since GTA 5 came out, but at least 2-3 years has been in development. But it sounds like they recently put in development when they announced the game, which was like what, last September or last summer, sometime last summer they announced it. That must have been when they decided to start working on the game. Um, but as long as the game is fire, bro. As long as the game is fire, as long as people, there's no overworking and hard hours on the developers or whatever like that, then everything is fine. But I'm excited. I'm excited. I haven't played GTA 5 in a minute, but GTA 6 look fire, and the trailer last time I saw it went out that it got over 63 million views. It's probably way past that now, maybe past 100 million views by now. A lot of people and stuck on, of course, the graphics and all that. But one of the chicks in the trailer, a lot of people was feeling her, and I can't wait to get in the game or whatever like that. It's cool. It's cool. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't like that. Wasn't. I'm just looking at wow, the graphics look amazing. Wow, this looks, oh, almost cinematic. It look like they got like you could make yourself an artist or something like that. Like I'm interested to see the direction they go. It looks like they might go into like a Bonnie and Clyde direction, but so maybe you can do certain missions as the girl, certain missions as the dude, certain missions where they both collide on some like Michael and Franklin type shit, like how that works. Except it's gonna be on some Bonnie and Clyde type shit. That's kind of what it looked like. But I'm excited. It looks like it's gonna be fire. I'm always up for a GTA game. I don't play GTA as much as I used to, but GTA is GTA. What else can you say? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But May 26th, 2026. So let's see. Hopefully, it don't get pushed back again. That's way over a year from now. You understand what I'm saying? So they put out the second game, the second trailer. It wasn't a gameplay trailer. It was just a trailer showing cutscenes or whatever like that. So hopefully we get a gameplay trailer coming soon. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. But next, let's talk about Diddy. We always got tap into the culture, tap into hip hop. The trial hasn't started yet, but it seems like they're still doing some jury selection on this Diddy case to make sure that they don't put people that may be swayed in certain directions or whatever like that. I'm gonna read this article by USA Today that kind of talks about what's going on, and hopefully they should have a jury picked by the end of the week, and then we could start seeing where this goes. Do I think that Diddy will get off? I will have to look back into the charges, but I think certain things is gonna stick. I don't think there. I don't think so far what I know there hasn't been nothing to debunk anything other than maybe some of the people that's obviously just doing it for clout. But we've seen the Cassie video. We've heard the stories of the things he's been doing behind the scenes to other people. You know, even like the whole trafficking thing. There's stories of people saying Diddy done gave me a woman in exchange for this. Diddy done gave me a woman in exchange for that. That is the type of the behavior that they're targeting when they're talking about trafficking. Using women as currency and exchanging them for favors in other situations. You understand what I'm saying? Uh, I don't know his relationship with Young Miami, but there was a tweet where Young Miami was talking about how Diddy is going to make a girl get on her knees and do whatever he like. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that Diddy, I won't say is guilty, but it'll be hard for him to fight certain things. You understand what I'm saying? And you could try and paint it as this agenda that they're trying to take down, but for you to get caught or for you to get in trouble for doing something, they have to have something. They're not just going to throw a bunch of stuff on. They have to have something, even a little bit of evidence to say yes, you at least have something to do with this. You understand what I'm saying? Will he be? Will some charges not stick? Maybe, because sometimes with stuff like that, they're gonna try and pile everything on you, and certain things is not gonna fly, but there'll be one big one that they know they could get you for. Um, I think the sex trafficking might go. Obviously, the domestic violence against Cassie, I don't know if that's a part of it. It was a RICO talking about how he was running Bad Boy as like an enterprise, whatever like that. I'm sure they can find certain things that can, you know what I'm saying? What's the word? Prove that they're not going to just throw that on there if there's no evidence at all whatsoever. I don't think it's going to be a Young Thug situation, especially because it's just Diddy. It's not a whole bunch of other people involved in it, like the Young Thug thing where it was everybody in YSL. It's really mainly Diddy is the main suspect, the main, you know what I'm saying, perpetrator of these acts. You know what I'm saying, that they're accusing him of. So I just think it's going to be a very hard fight. A very hard fight. If he gets free, I'll be surprised. But I think it'll be a very hard fight for him, especially with his reputation, especially with all the stories that's been coming out about Diddy for 30 years, from people in the industry, people outside the industry, especially with the Keefe D situation. I don't think that's going to be brought up in Diddy's trial. But the Keefe D basically almost damn near confirming that Puff was the one that paid him to get Tupac, whatever. It's going to be very hard to get 100% innocence. If you think P Diddy is 100% innocent, I don't see where you can see that. You know what I'm saying? There's just too much out there for you to say he's 100% innocent. There's nothing that could stick to him. You understand what I'm saying? But let's read this article real quick. Jury selection in Sean Diddy Combs' ongoing sex crimes trial is continuing as prosecutors and the one-time mogul's attorneys face off over the pivotal panel. Lawyers reconvened in Manhattan court on May 7 to continue the interviews of prospective jurors in the high profile legal proceeding. Jurors have been questioned one by one by Judge Arun Subramanian. That's a crazy last name. The prosecution and the defense to determine their qualification to serve. Basically, trying to see if they will have any biases towards him or if they may, what I'm saying, jurors were repeatedly asked if they, a family member or a friend, had been victim of sexual assault. Yeah, because if you were, let's say, sexual assault, sexual harassment, or domestic violence, and whether they or a loved one had been charged or accused of such crimes. Basically, do you have a certain connection to what's going on? Because that may sway how you look at this case. If you have family members or if you were a victim of sexual assault or sexual or domestic violence, whatever like that, that may sway how you look at this case because you're going to be coming from a bias. You're going to be coming from, what I'm saying? So they want somebody that can kind of come in there with a clear head without any experience or past that may involve those things, like a mom that may have gotten beaten or whatever like that. You may go in there and be like, well, I feel like if I put him away, then I'm doing this for my mom. I'm doing this for my brother. I'm doing this for my, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of why they're doing that. During his final pretrial hearing on May 2nd, Combs, 55, confirmed he turned down a potential plea deal in the case. A judge previously rejected a request from the Raptors legal team to delay the start of the trial. Combs could spend the rest of his life in prison if convicted. That's crazy. Thinking about P. Diddy, bro. And it goes into the conversation, and we could have that conversation at another time potentially. I think it was a Vic Mensa thing was talking about, was black excellence ever really a thing? And that's been kind of a discussion that's been going on. I won't say behind the scenes, but certain pockets of the internet, certain pockets of black culture have been asking like, has black excellence been a trick the entire time? You understand what I'm saying? Because it's giving you this idea of you can do it too. You can do it too. But then you see what these people have to do to be able to do what it is that they tell you can do too. And it's just like, okay, we're looking at capitalists, we're looking at, predators, we're looking at people that are exploiting other people that are, robbing their own people and you know what I'm saying, putting them in bad deals or whatever to get the money that they have. Is that what you have to do to be quote unquote black excellence? And it goes into once again, we live in a society where capitalism only works to benefit one type of person. So you feel the best way for you to get to their level, you think that it's going to be even playing field if you get to their money. But the only way to get to their money is to behave in the ways that they do. And the ways that they do, and the ways that they behave aren't in the benefit of the people, of the oppressed people. You understand what I'm saying? And then when you think about it, yeah, we have black billionaires now. But look at the other billionaires above them and how much of a gap it is. You know what I'm saying? How much of a gap it is, and like Vic Mitchell was saying, was like people still dying, people still suffering, people still going through so much shit. There's still this huge gap between the rich and the poor. So we're pushing this idea of black excellence, but we're not supporting these small businesses. We're not supporting this. We're not supporting that. We're not doing anything to achieve black excellence other than keep putting money in the pockets of people that already have the money, instead of bringing people up and changing the environment and changing the community. There's some people that try, but none of them are really billionaires. Maybe a handful of them are billionaires. A couple of them are just people with a few $1,000,000 that are giving back to their communities. But it's not a widespread thing where our black billionaires or our black people that's making hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars are doing that. They're just finding more and more ways to exploit those people that are coming from those environments. You understand what I'm saying? Where we at? Um, and like Diddy's an example. Like you get all the we Diddy was like damn near the face of black excellence at one point. And then when you look into his history, he's a man that's exploited, abused, manipulated, lied to, maybe even murdered black people to get to where he was. Is there real black excellence in that? Is there real black excellence in stepping on your own people to get to the top? There's no real excellence in that. You understand what I'm saying? But anyways, during his pre-trial blah blah blah, if convicted, the wide pool of potential jurors for Combs' trial has been narrowed to just 45 candidates after several days of intense questioning. 6 women and 5 men were given the green light May 7 after lawyers for either side and the judge interviewed 22 candidates, their age bracket ranging from mid-20s to early 70s. It represents a varied cross-section of society, with one juror working as a graphic designer and another in the administration of at the Counterterrorism Office of the United Nations. The group who will decide Combs' fate is not yet in final ink, though, and the legal team will need to return May 9th to select the actual jury ahead of opening statements set for next week. So it should be going under next week. If they have any updates or whatever like that, might bring it up on the A9 cast. Just I'm kind of interested in it, all the documentaries and stuff, but I want to see just where this goes, and just what happens. And there's another case that I'm gonna talk about after this that we're gonna keep our eye on, just because it's hip hop. You know what I'm saying? We just trying to see what's the future of hip hop and what this can do for the future, for the future, and if this can lead to kind of like a sweep, a cleansing of a sort. You know what I'm saying? What this could mean for the future of those type of people. What does this mean for the future for the black, like? So, some people are connecting Kanye to some of this stuff. Is Kanye next? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to keep saying Jay-Z because people keep saying Jay-Z. Kanye is obviously the one that may be next when it comes to shutting down some of these billionaires that are doing some weird things behind the scenes. But doom scrolling through coverage, another potential juror was moved into the approved pool after being questioned about their social media habits. Combs' defense referenced a meme that they implied the potential juror may have interacted with on social media, but the juror chalked this up to doom scrolling and mindlessly swiping. When the judge asked the juror if they had seen things while doom scrolling that might make them biased against Combs, they said no. The potential juror went to the same high school as Combs, though they graduated 30 years apart. All right. Sleep deprived possible juror avoids recusal after admitting to being lazy. I'm gonna judge your question for about 25 minutes. This is the last one I'm gonna read because it's just breaking down some of the jurors, so that's not as important. But it says for about 25 minutes, continually sighed and trailed off in his speech. Subramian noted that the man neglected to fill out all the questions on his juror questionnaire. I was tired. I was binging the new Star Wars series. Oh my gosh. It just came out. Subramian laughed at his admission and said, "Will you be able to concentrate, or will you be too busy binging and/or?" The potential juror said he would. He said he would, responding, "Like I said, I was binging. I'm just being lazy." Yeah, so some of these, it's just going through some of the people that potentially could be on the jury or whatever like that. One person went to the same school as him, but it was 30 years apart. But they said that they don't have much information on the Combs thing. They just doom scrolling to a meme or whatever like that. But yeah, we're gonna keep see what's going on with this Diddy thing, and try and stay up to date with it. Just see the future of it. What evidence? Because that's really what I'm interested in. Is what evidence will they bring to debunk all these things that are coming towards him? Will it be some type of manipulation? Will it be some type of loopholes, or what's going on? You understand what I'm saying? Because right now, me personally, even though I don't want to bring too much opinion in there, me personally, I don't see enough to where I can see him. Maybe something can happen where he can be free. Not be free, but I can. There's a possibility that some of the charges that are levied against him could be dropped, but I don't think he's going to leave 100% innocent, 100% scot free. Will he get a long probation like Young Thug? I don't know, because if they make it seem like he's like the way they have it seem like he's more of a danger to society than Thug probably was. You understand what I'm saying? Like they, from how it seems that they making it painted like there's nowhere that he can go where nobody will be harmed, nobody will be safe. Like for Thug, it seemed like there was like as long as he's away from Atlanta, everything should be okay. If he's away from Atlanta, away from these gang members, everything should be fine. I think that they see Diddy in a light where no matter where he is, his influence and who he is, his reputation is going to follow him, and that's what's going to cause more harm and to the people around him and the people that may have given him up and all the stuff like that. But we'll see. But next, let's talk about Lil Durk and Lil Durk's case. They've added a couple of extra charges on there. I think apparently they added another body to his case or whatever like that. But this video, I seen this video yesterday by Lawyer for Workers, and he kind of talked about the Durk case. So we're kind of going to listen to what he got to say about it. It's interesting to me. The things that he said as far as the changes that they made to the cases and how that could potentially help him in the long run. If you're taking these things off the record, that means that whatever evidence you had wasn't strong enough, and if you're not strong enough, that could make the case a lot weaker and in the favor of Durk. But we're gonna listen to what Lawyer for Workers said, and I think he posted a new post about it, so we're gonna listen to that too.
You've probably seen his lawyer Drew Finling doing interviews all over the hip hop platforms. I think it's because he's got something cooking. Tomorrow, there's a bond hearing where Dirk is going to ask for a bond based on new information. What's the new information? Well, his lawyers basically are arguing that the indictment that was recently filed, the second superseding indictment, makes a completely different case against Dirk than the case that the prosecutors presented to the judge back in December of 2024 when the bond was first denied. What the defense argues is that, look, this new indictment removes two allegations. First, they completely got rid of any allegation that Dirk rapped about this murder for hire plot, that Dirk rapped about Quando Rondo on the news going no, no, and crying in response to the murder of his friend. This is very important because what the defense is going to be able to argue to the judge is, look, judge, we proved to them that they're wrong because those lyrics were recorded 7 months before the murder. Those lyrics could not have had anything to do with the murder. And what they did in response to us proving that to them is they just took that allegation right out of the indictment. And now they're not even alleging that he rapped about the murder. And that was a huge part of their original case. And so without
Right.
that...
So like a huge part of why they felt that their case against Dirk was strong was because there was thoughts, and this goes to the internet being the internet and how it's influencing these investigations. You could act like it's not, but it is, because there were countless YouTube videos I seen, and countless YouTube videos, Trap Lord Ross and the people like that that were alleging that Dirk rapped about Quando Rondo getting killed because the project he had after, I mean, not Quando Rondo's friend getting killed, or his cousin I think it was, getting killed when he was mocking him with the no no no, and he took the sample from the news clip and put it in the song and this and that. But if there's evidence to say that this song was recorded way before that even happened, then it's a weak argument. But those people on YouTube made it seem like it was related. You understand what I'm saying? So if they found evidence that that's not true and that's not what really happened, not only does it, make his case even weaker, but it shows you that you should not. And I remember King Von said this before he died on $1 million worth of game. Don't believe everything they be saying on the YouTube. That's just for entertainment. That is not real. They wasn't there. They don't know what happened. They don't know nobody. They just putting things together for y'all entertainment. And that's just evidence right there. You understand what I'm saying? Don't believe everything that people say on YouTube. It's documentaries. It's for your entertainment. They just pulling pieces together. They don't know the actual facts. You understand what I'm saying?
The case is much weaker. We deserve a bond. The other thing that the defense is arguing is that in the second superseding indictment, the government took out another very key allegation against Dirk. The government had alleged that Dirk, through co-defendant Wilson, paid bounties to the shooters in this alleged murder for hire plot. In the second superseding indictment, that allegation is gone. Instead of alleging that Dirk, through co-defendant Wilson, paid the bounty, there's now a new charge called stalking resulting in murder, where there's no direct allegation of a bounty being paid through Wilson or anyone else. Instead...
And now that's big because the original charge was murder for hire. The original charge was murder for hire. So if you're taking out the allegations that Dirk was rapping about the murder of what's his name, Pab or something like that, you're taking that allegation out, which means that you probably got some evidence to say that probably didn't happen how y'all thought it was. And you're taking out the act of him paying somebody, giving somebody money to pay people to go kill somebody, then you're taking away the charge of murder for hire, right? Because if he didn't pay somebody to kill somebody, or if he didn't give somebody money to pay people to kill somebody, then that means that there was no murder for hire, right? So now he's saying they're changing the charge to stalking that resulted in death, which is just crazy.
The allegations are limited to Dirk was orchestrating surveillance on this guy, Dirk sent shooters to LA, Dirk let it be known that he would put money up, even though there's no allegation that he actually did pay the bounty through a co-defendant or somebody else. And so what the defense is going to be able to...
And that's the thing, and this is why this is funny, is because when Dirk got caught up, there was things going around saying they have the receipts of this person paying for the rental and this person paying for this, and Dirk's credit card that's connected to OTL got paid for this and got paid for that. Y'all had all this stuff put together to kind of say that Dirk paid for everything that happened that was led to the setup of him getting killed. But now y'all saying there was no evident transaction, there was no evident paying of anything to say that he was murdered for hire. They're just saying he was watching them, and when they caught him, then that's what happened. Even though it was a murder for hire, if there was no money transaction, then nobody was hired. For something to be hired, that means there has to be some money transacted from one person to another person that led to something else. But if you're saying there was no transaction, and now you're just saying, oh, they was just watching them, and saying that he put money. Where besides in a song did Dirk say, "I'm putting money on your head"? Where outside of a song, and you just got debunked on trying to use lyrics to prove your case, just got debunked that maybe these were out of context, maybe this didn't happen at the time that you thought it was. So where, like, I don't remember no interview, I don't remember no Instagram post, I don't remember no story, I don't remember no tweet, I don't remember nothing where Dirk outwardly said, I'm putting money on somebody to get Quando Wanda or to get Young Pav. So where would they say where he made these allegations, or where are they saying that this is what he had put out there? Maybe it was the type of energy, maybe it was the type of energy in the music that was put out of there. But music is art. If I'm feeling a certain way, yes, I'm gonna talk about it. But you have to prove that what I'm saying is really what I'm doing, and not just a part of the art, a part of the storytelling, a part of the character, the gimmick, or the idea, or the concept that I'm building. You understand what I'm saying?
There's no allegation that he actually did pay the bounty through a co-defendant or somebody else. And so
because this could be a Keefe D situation where they did whatever they did to Pac, and because Puff knew that if the money did make a full transaction, he could get caught up and connected to the situation, he held the money, or the person that he gave the money to kept the money. You understand what I'm saying? So it could have been one of those situations where Dirk gave the person the money, and instead of them giving it to the people so that Dirk doesn't get connected to it, they kept the money, or Dirk kept the money, or something. Like, it could be one of those situations, but it goes against everything that was alleged in the beginning.
Going to be able to present at tomorrow's bond hearing is, hey, Judge, we move to dismiss this case by pointing out all the factual errors in the government's case. What the government did is they changed their case and they removed key allegations against our client. And so you have to look at their new case and now reevaluate the bond. If Dirk gets a bond, that's going to tell you a lot about what the judge thinks about this second superseding indictment, which is in fact significantly different and significantly weaker and less aggressive in terms of how it charges Dirk as being responsible for this murder. Tomorrow, that bond hearing is going to be huge. Update on Lil Durk.
And I think he just posted what happened, so we're going to see what happened after that.
Update on Lil Durk. He had his bond hearing today. He looked good. He looked like he was in good spirits. No crazy weight gain or anything like that. He looked good. The judge was on the same vibe she was on last time, which is that, wait, they're saying murder for hire. They're saying you put bounties up. They're saying you ordered the shooters. They're saying the shooters shot. I'm saying that's going to be no bond. There's basically no argument you can make to this judge in a murder for hire case to get a bond. The one silver lining for the defense is that the prosecution's case has taken two major hits. One, the prosecution...
I can see why the judge is saying, I can see why the judge decides, okay, if this is what is being levied towards you, a murder for hire, then it would not be safe for you to be free, because you can get more people murdered for money. You know what I'm saying? You could continue to do whatever you did if that is what they're saying that you did.
Had to abandon their allegation that he rapped and celebrated about this murder, that he put these lyrics out talking about, oh yeah, I got you, you out here screaming no, no, crying in the street. Prosecution had to back away from that allegation. It was proven false. They need that allegation, and now they're not going to be able to have it. The other allegation they backed away from, which is huge, it shows the weakening of the case. Previously, the prosecution had alleged that Dirk paid the bounty for the death through one of his co-defendants, and they named the co-defendant. Now they've backed off that allegation. They're not actually saying that Dirk paid the bounty through the co-defendant or anyone else. And the fact that they're not saying that suggests that previously they thought they were going to be. Update on Little Dirk. He had his bond hearing today. He looked good. He looked like he was in good spirits. No crazy way.
He be having this shit clip off.
Is that the prosecution's case has taken two major hits. Allegation they backed away from, which is huge. It shows the co-defendant or anyone else. And the fact that they're not saying that suggests that previously they thought they were going to be able to prove
That's it. I don't know why he be having his videos be clipping like that, where they just stop at the most randomest time.
Update on Little Dirk. He had update on Little Dirk. Update on Little Dirk.
But yeah, so we're going to see what's going on, what's happening with that one in the future. Hey, it's getting spooky. So he didn't able to get his bond. Wasn't able to get his bond here. No bond for him because of the charges. But like he said, things looking a little weaker because they've taken off some of the major points that they had put in the case to say, yeah, Dirk did this. You taking away the fact that he paid a bounty, potentially gave somebody money to give the bounty to the shooters, and you're taking away the fact that he rapped about it in his songs. And those were the two main things that was everything that the case basically said on was he rapped about it in the no thing, and he did this and he did that, which I do think that no, he rapped about it in the song comes from what the YouTubers, the Chiracologies, the Traplo Rosses was saying in on YouTube. You understand what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure they got that stuff from YouTube because that's why I was first hearing about it was, he was mocking him and he was doing this and he was doing that. Like, there has to be some type of like I don't know what to call it, but there got to be a way to where these people, you're insinuating people in crimes, people that are free in crimes that may or may not involve them, and you're basically helping the police into connecting them to certain things that maybe they might have missed, or you're able to script things. And the thing is everything is edited, so you can edit and manipulate things to look away if that's what you want to portray, and that can be misleading to people that are investigating things and they're going on YouTube for research and this and that, and they see what you're saying, they're like, oh wow, that makes sense. That sounds like evidence to me, and the whole time it may not have went exactly like that, but because you put it out as if this is a documentary, it's 100% facts. I did my research. These people are taking some of these things that y'all are saying in YouTube videos and using this to put people in jail, and that's messed up. That is messed up. That's what I'm saying. When you're looking at TV shows, when you're looking at stuff like that, a lot of that stuff is done after the fact, after somebody's done got caught and stuff like that. Y'all are putting bodies and murders and crimes on people before the case even opens, before they even know that there's a case. People walking around free as hell, and y'all are like, potential serial killer. Let's go through the potential murders of this person and that person, and it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. But anyways, let's end this on a positive note. Kendrick Lamar out here doing his Thug Thizzle. You understand what I'm saying? Him and SZA been on tour. I think they started a tour maybe 2 weeks ago. I seen like the little deposition clips and whatever like that. And one of the big new headlines was that Kendrick Lamar broke the record for the highest grossing rap concert of all time, which is amazing. I'm gonna read this article. The tour's first night saw Kendrick break Eminem's previous record, highest grossing rap concert. The opening night in Minneapolis grossed over $9 million for more than 47,000 fans at an average price of $192.70. 47,000 people is a lot of people. That's a lot of people. In arena, most arenas is doing 19 to maybe 20. Well, I'm gonna say from 19. Some arenas will sit 11,000. Some arenas do 15. Some 17. Some 19. It just depends on how everything's arranged or whatever like that. There's a big difference between arenas and stadiums. And I was saying this all last year when people was trying to tell me how Drake's the biggest artist in the world and Drake sells all these records and he does all this and all that. I'm like, yeah, but he still can only do arenas. I have a video months ago where I start doing the math of why it would be better for an artist if they can to do stadiums over doing arenas. You make more money, and here we go. Highest growth. This proves my point from months ago. One stadium show for Kendrick made it the highest grossing rap concert ever. One stadium show. I did the math. Months ago, I can't remember the name of the video, but months ago I did a video and I broke down how you're basically making double the money on a show if you're doing it in a stadium. Yes, it may be a little bit more expensive in production or whatever like that, but it's a stadium. It's a stadium. You're sitting in all these people. You're going to sell all this merchandise. You're going to sell, like, you're doubling almost any way that you could possibly make money in. An arena is getting double when you move it to a stadium. If you can do a stadium. And usually you'll be pitched to do a stadium if there's confidence that you can do a stadium by your label. If the label is not confident you can do a stadium, they're not going to have you do a stadium. If they're not confident that you can partner up with somebody to do a stadium, they're not going to get you to do a stadium. They was like, SZA's one of the biggest R&B acts in the world right now. Kendrick's the biggest rapper in the world right now. Perfect time to do stadium tour, and they did it. They broke the Eminem's record. I think Eminem's record was set in Australia, in 2019. Canal Boats, and I remember because people like to say, "Oh, it's not even close," and this and that. But let's not forget, Drake has one of the highest grossing hip hop tours of all time, right? But you know who was right behind him, and who had the record before Drake broke it with the one with J. Cole? Kendrick had it. Kendrick, Mr. Morale and Big Steppers was one of the highest grossing tours in hip hop, right? And then Drake broke it with the last one. And now, if this continues, Kendrick's gonna break Drake's record of highest grossing hip hop tour. He already broke the record for highest grossing concert. He might break the record for highest grossing tour, and the W's is just gonna continue. I'm not gonna lie, and it's good. But outside of the Drake and Kendrick beef, I feel this is good for hip hop. This is good for hip hop. This goes to show you that even though they're trying, I'm gonna say it's good for hip hop for the future. I'm not gonna say, because of course this is great for Kendrick. This is great for Kendrick fans. This is a W for them. But there is this right now we're in a state where it seems only a handful of people are still winning. It's opened the doors for more people, but there's still only a handful of people that's still winning. You know what I'm saying? But this is where somebody like a Kendrick and what GNX did was a good thing, because we talk about it. When certain people have this spotlight on them, when certain people are having a run like this, even though there's never been a run like this, when certain people are having this spotlight on them, when they have the crown, they use that opportunity to only just work with people that are already on their level or a level below them. They're going to take this opportunity to only do for themselves. You understand what I'm saying? But Kendrick decided, I have all this attention on me. I have the biggest song in the world right now, biggest song of 2024. I'm going to put on so many people that you've never heard of. And that's what you're supposed to do. That's how you're supposed to spread it. So yes, this is a big moment for Kendrick, but I feel like this is a big moment for hip hop, because not only is he showing that that level is possible, but he's also bringing people up with him. He's bringing people on to stay. I think he brought Playboy Cardi out. Of course, he's brought SZA with him. You understand what I'm saying? You got people like Lefty Gunplay and I think it's Easy Shike. Almost every song. So you got the song with SZA is the number one song in the country. You got Squabble Up, which I can't remember who's Squabble Up is a solo song, but you got TV Off, which is featuring somebody that nobody knew before that. Like, you have these people who never had a hit record with hit records now. You understand what I'm saying? So you put money in their pockets. You're performing these songs on stage. You're performing these songs at your $40,000, $50,000 seat of concerts. That's more money going into their pockets. And this can create and do a lot better for the musical economy. This can motivate other artists coming up to be like, wow, Kendrick's doing stadiums. I want to do stadiums now. We may get to a point potentially in 10 years, once everything starts to settle, when people kind of start to get back into, let's make art, let's make music, let's make this shit big, let's make this shit like for real, for real. Let's not just do for self. Not just look, because that's what ruined a lot of this shit, was everybody was like, I'm trying to hit a lick. I'm trying to hit a lick. I'm trying to hit a lick. This is just my gateway to do what I really want to do. When people started coming into hip hop, just looking at it as a way to make money, that's what started to water everything down. That's what started to make everything so stagnant, because people wasn't having the passion. People wasn't focused on pushing things forward. They only focus on pushing themselves forward. But when you got somebody like Kendrick that seems to be, I'm not going to speak for him, it seems that his goal is, I want to push this thing forward. I don't want this shit to die. It's not going to die on my watch. I'm going to put some new people on, not just for the West Coast, but just in general. I'm going to bring battle rap to the forefront. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to have a number one song. I'm going to have a number one album. I'm going to have a hit duo, rap slash R&B record in a era where rap and R&B don't blend as much no more. I remember in the 2000s, almost every hip hop album's main single was rapper with popular R&B artist, rapper with popular R&B artist. But I think once Drake kind of became a thing, which it's not a complaint or anything, but once Drake kind of showed people that you can be the rapper and the singer, which he's not the first to do that, but he became the biggest to do that. A lot of people started being like, well, I'm gonna just throw auto tune on. I'm gonna just do what Drake did. But I think that left a different a hole in the connection between hip hop and R&B. Hip hop continued to grow, but R&B kind of started to fall and become more of an underground thing, where you don't have an Usher, you don't have a Chris Brown, you don't have a Neo, a Beyonce nowadays. You have great talented artists, but they're not cracking through the mainstream. They're not running radio outside of the urban, the urban radio stations like there was at one point. You're not getting these collabs with R&B singers and rappers all the time. Chris Brown still does it, but Chris Brown been out since 2004. He's from that era. You know what I'm saying? But the new R&B acts, they're rapping and singing. The new rappers are rapping and singing. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like this marriage of Kendrick and SZA, the rapper with the singer, is just so nostalgic for a lot of people, and it's just bringing that old feeling back of a Ja Rule and Ja Rule and Ashanti, or Fat Joe and Ashanti, or 50 Cent and I wanted Ashanti was really running shit. Oh, because it's not always women. 50 Cent and Nate Dogg. You understand what I'm saying? Snoop Dogg and Pharrell. Like those type of marriages. 50 Cent, I mean, not 50 Cent. Jay-Z and Beyonce. Rihanna and T.I. That era, you know what I'm saying? Where the rapper would do the rapping and they have the R&B singer on the hook or the pop singer on the hook. Even Eminem and Skylar Grey, or Eminem and Rihanna. That whole time period, that kind of faded once the rappers started singing and the singers started rapping. But Luther is such a what's the word, like just a grasp from the past with just how it's structured and the duet of, because it really is a Ja Rule Ashanti type song where the rapper is kind of trying to melodic with her, but he's still in his little bag with it. You understand what I'm saying? So like that's just an amazing thing, and I think if people kind of take that formula and continue to push that formula and create this marriage, I think not only will it help hip hop, but hip hop as a culture, which R&B is a part of the hip hop culture, but it will help rap genre and the R&B genre kind of continue to grow if we kind of stick together and keep that marriage going. Because this, I'm not too much of a fan. There's a few songs I like, but I haven't been too much of a fan of this rap country marriage. Personally, this, I'm gonna make a rap song and I'm gonna get Morgan Wallen. I'm gonna make this rap song and I'm gonna get Post Malone. I'm gonna get Jelly Roll. Which shout out to them, maybe not Post Malone and Morgan Wallen, but you know what I'm saying. I don't have nothing against it, but I feel like it's not the same as the rap R&B marriage. Not the same. You know what I'm saying? I think Kendrick and SZA showed us the rapper with the R&B singer formula can work. You understand what I'm saying? But shout out to Kendrick, shout out to SZA, of course, because if Kendrick broke the record, SZA broke the record. That's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing. Kendrick broke the record, SZA broke the record too. You understand what I'm saying? But that's it for me. Let's keep on just building this shit. This is for hip hop. This is for the culture. You understand what I'm saying? I'm hoping for the best for even though if you commit it, like they say, you do the time, you do the crime, you got to do the time. Like they say, if you do the crime, you got to do the time. I'm not against that. Even though I am against just the idea of that whole infrastructure, but I'm just hoping for the best for everybody. That's just the best thing I can say. Hoping for the best for everybody. If you did the things that you're being accused of, hopefully your time away, you can reflect and realize these things are going to become a better person over time. You can't take these things back, but you can grow in the future, and that's all I'm hoping for those two. For Kendrick, I'm hoping this really leads to a growth in a transition and a shift to just more creativity and more collaborations and more love for the art and not love for the money. You understand what I'm saying? Hip hop has become, and music in general, music industry in general, has become so capitalistic and watered down. And how do I get a hit? How do I get the bag? How do I do this? How do I hit a lick? That it pulled the soul from it. Hopefully, we can get the soul back. Hopefully, we can get the. If he can do stadiums, I can do stadiums. And he did stadiums. Like was having a discussion at work, like, oh, you can say what you want, but Drake's a hitmaker. Drake's a hitmaker. Drake's a hitmaker. Yes, Drake's a hitmaker, but he made all those hits and was still not able to do stadiums. The guy that only has a few, which Kendrick does hits too. People try to act like Kendrick has no hits. We got Swimming Pool. We got DNA. You got Humble. You got You got the N95. You got Squabble Up, Not Like Us, TV Off, Luther. Like that's 8. They not all number ones, but that's eight hit records that I'm just naming right there. There's people that don't even have one hit record. There are artists that don't even have one hit record, and he has 8, and that's just me thinking off the top of my head. Bitch, Don't Kill My Vibe, Poetic Justice. You understand what I'm saying? That's 10 right there. People try to act like Drake has hits, Kendrick doesn't have hits. Kendrick has hits too, but guess what? His focus wasn't the hits. His focus was on telling a story, building a concept, showing you growth, showing you progression, keeping it underground, as he would say. You understand what I'm saying? The guy that made the guy that kept it underground, the guy that gave you the conceptual albums, the guy that, you know what I'm saying, spoke on certain issues that most mainstream artists don't speak on. Though he wasn't the first to do it, he was probably the biggest to do it. That guy touched stadiums and broke records, and when it comes to length of hit records on the charts, when it comes to ticket sales and tours, he did that before the guy that main focus was making the hit records. Outside of the battle, outside of the tribalism of Kendrick versus Drake, just think about that. Think about that and think about what that can mean for the future. I don't have to sacrifice my creativity to be a success because Kendrick did it. You understand what I'm saying? And that means a lot. And even in a sense too, I don't have to sacrifice my creativity to be a success because Drake did it. I'm not saying Drake sacrificed creativity. Maybe his creativity is different than other people. But Drake found what works for him, kinda, or what worked, and he figured out the formula, and he made it work. If you want to be the formulaic hit maker person, you can be successful that way. But Kendrick also shows you, if you want to be conceptual, if you want to have ideas and concepts, and you want to tell stories, and you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to be a big performer, you want to be a performer, you want to be an artist, you can be successful like that too. I feel like both artists showed that there's two multiple ways to skin a cat. You can be a success making the hits and hopping from trend to trend, genre to genre, sound to sound, or you can keep it underground, hunker on your craft, hunker on your skill, build the right relationships, build the right fan base, build a strong fan base, and achieve the same success. You understand what I'm saying? You can argue who's the number one artist of the generation, but either artist, you can argue who's the biggest or who's the best of the generation between them, but you can't separate them. You can't act like one is far beyond the other because there's nobody else but them two. When you think about it, when you're looking at the metrics, when you're looking at tours, when you're looking at album sales, when you're looking at album impact, when you're looking at impact, hit records, who else but Kendrick and Drake? You can't separate them. If you have them, like, at this point, they are top 2 no matter what. Whether you have Kendrick at 1 or Drake at 1, the other one is 2. Whether you're like, oh no, but J. Cole raps better than Drake and this and that. Yeah, but J. Cole has not touched some of the successes that Kendrick and Drake have touched. Not even touched it. Forest Hill Drive was big, but it wasn't Damn. It wasn't To Pimp a Butterfly. It wasn't Good Kid, Mad City. It wasn't GNX. He has Forest Hill Drive, but he doesn't have those 4. I haven't dived into views, but he doesn't have a views. He doesn't have J. Cole doesn't have a God's Plan. He doesn't have a what's the shit? What's the shit called? The shit, the right foot kick, the moonwalk song. He doesn't have that. One Dance. He doesn't have a Hotline Bling. He doesn't have Best Ever Had. He doesn't have what's the Drake just got so many. You know what I'm saying? But J. Cole, you can put J. Cole in the conversation, but then when you're actually coming down to the details, he doesn't have the albums like Kendrick has them, and he doesn't have the hits like Drake has them. So the 1 and 2 can only be Kendrick and Drake. You understand what I'm saying? And only you personally can decide who is 1. There is no number 1 certified definitive number 1, but there's a 1 and 2, and it's them 2. You understand what I'm saying? And you could just decide which one is where. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to wrap it up. Shout out to hip hop, always. That's it for me. I'm out. Too sweet.